go in there, read just a little bit about this. I know that the sound sucks, and hopefully my audio is screwed too, so I'll have to stop it, go back out, and come back in. Okay, folks, I know my sound is crap, so I'm going to have to, real quickly, I'm going to have to shut it down and restart it. Okay. Actually, I'm just going to have to log out. Let me bring in Art, though, real quick.
Yeah.
All right. Let me drop out, and I'll be right back.
All right. Sounds like a plan. All right. Welcome to the Grumpy Vlogger Show, where we bring you high-quality audio every week. All right. Let's say hello, everybody, in the chat. We got Jody, Drone Shots, Blind Neil, Jim Beauchart, Bob Casey, Chris Doc Murdoch, and Tom Okie Tom, and Bill, Uncle Bill from Coast Coast Drones. We got a good crowd tonight. Yeah. Oh, and then Trevor Fuss. Don't give a fuss, 'cause Trevor will. And Gary from Brant Aerials.
How's my sound?
Yes. Still sound bad.
Crap. All right. Just keep on with the show. I'll be back.
Alrighty. I'll take over, and so yeah, I sound good because I didn't screw around with my audio like somebody who keeps doing it week after week. But last week it sounded great. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's changing something from Mel's show to this show. Who knows? But good to see you, everybody, in the chat. I am in charge for the moment here. So, anyway, just a cheap little plug for me. Don't forget, I'm giving away this bad boy Saturday on Artco Drone Solutions. It is a solar-powered battery charger. So, if you want to charge up your phone, it's great for charging phones, action cameras. It'll charge up those little tiny whoop drone batteries. It'll charge those. And let's see, is he sounding better?
Yes, will do.
Nope.
I'm not changing my settings. That's the thing. I don't know what the problem is.
Maybe you're overdriven. Check your settings.
About now, is this any better?
What are you doing different than you did last night?
Nothing. not a thing. It just
It,
reset itself somewhere along the line.
uh,
Let me
yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's happening almost every week.
weekly.
You'll be fine on Mel's show, and then you come into this show. Last week, you sounded great. Everything went perfect.
Yep.
I'll
be right back.
Oh.
Let me reboot it.
All right. I'm back. So here we go. So I'm giving away this charger. And hey, Dustin, good to see you. Great to come in. Don't forget, I'm giving away almond toffee. Do that every week. So, still working on something with instrument candy. So, who knows? We'll see what happens there. Right now, Rick and his wife are up in Alaska. They are fishing. They're doing salmon and halibut fishing. And I see that Rick caught a nice size halibut, and his wife Linda caught a really nice salmon. Well, I mean, you can't. It's big, and hopefully I'll get some of that fish when they get back. Every time I have dinner with them, they're always giving me tons of food, a lot of fish, game food, like deer burgers, deer bat strap, Italian sausage. Hey, Grant, Mr. Stay Drunk, good to see you. Great. And I was at their party that they had. This was after their son's funeral, and they gave me a great big box of the company that makes Frito-Lay. I think that's the name of the company. So I got a whole bunch of Cheetos, Fritos, and Doritos, and potato chips. I got sour cream and the regular. But so I got enough chips to last me a while, so I don't need to buy any, which is good. Saves me a lot of money. So hopefully soon I will be working on my 5-inch drone here. Got the parts, came in, and hopefully I could get this fixing. I'm praying that the boards aren't gone. If it is, then I'm gonna have to work with Doc Murdoch to figure out what boards to get. Yes, I didn't get the spicy Doritos. I got the nacho and the ranch. Ranch is my favorite. I like that, but the nacho cheese is pretty good. So, yes, they look transparent, Gary, because they're green. So, other than that, I did some flying with the flight club out at Adams County Fairgrounds, and Daryl was the only one to show up, so we got some late morning flying. So, Chris, you'll be proud. I was practicing figure eights with the light posts out in the parking lot area. So, didn't crash as much. So,
does it work?
Bingo! You sound great. Oh,
Oh,
and
God.
ladies and gentlemen, just a little bit of warning, with Lloyd's puppets. There may be some adult language and themes tonight, and who
Well,
knows, maybe some puppet nudity.
Oh my God, yeah. I take puppet nudity over this bullshit I'm dealing with right now. I don't know what the hell I did. I rebooted 3 or 4 times and blah 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 blah. Just for God's sakes, pissing me off. Not that I don't have enough to be pissed off about.
Well, remember to save it before you close out.
I didn't even do anything. All I did was shut it completely down, reboot my computer, and start it back up. Started right back up from what it was.
Wow, that's weird.
It is. I don't know if it's because of my Bluetooth headset that's causing the problems or what. I apologize, everyone, for having such a late start and a crappy sound. I'm going to give everybody
I said
a word of
hello
warning.
for you.
Thank
Matt,
you very much.
Northeast Drones, good to see you.
Now I can turn Art down. Art will have to turn himself down. Am I too low? Because I did turn myself down.
Okay, there.
You
know? Okay. How's that? Is that a little better?
Okay.
Is that good?
Let me make sure. That sounds good to me.
Okay. And Jim, Above and Beyond Drones, welcome.
Yeah, I sent out some links today, and Trainwrecks are us. No shit, Sherlock. Yeah. Or Doc, I mean. I'm going to give everybody the heads up. I have been on a rampage for a few days. I mean, you saw me yesterday, and if anybody saw Art show yesterday, I was holding back. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Let me do this. I'm going to have to switch some stuff around because it lost all of my stuff here. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah. Okay, let's go there. Okay.
Big Water UAV, Troy, your coffee is on its way.
Yeah. Let's see.
Let's try to figure out. Okay, Troy is, what channel is it? And then now I see it. Dre, good to see you. And Drone Life RC, good to see you.
Well, let's see. Anyways, let me bring this up here over here, bring this back over here. Bring that up. Okay. Well, here's the thing. For those that don't know it, I'm conservative. I hide no bones about it. I don't apologize for it, and this is my show tonight, and I know you all probably tuned in to hear about drones or other silliness, but tonight I'm not going to talk about drones and other silliness. I may talk a little bit about it, but I'm really disgusted, and that's the best I can talk to. I missed out. I wanted to watch Jim on the video call-in show last night. I caught it in replay, and I wished I had been able to join, but I meant, for some reason my timing was off, and either I had the time wrong. I thought he usually started at 9 Eastern or 10 Eastern, but I must have, come to think of it, he did say 9 Eastern, so he must have started an hour early yesterday. And I probably fell asleep, but anyways, he talked on, what are your opinions on the Afghanistan thing? So, and I'm going to bring in one of the guests who was on there last night. I'm just going to add him. And,
hey, Jim.
What's up, guys?
My audio is down. Give me just a second to see if I can adjust that.
You're fine for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, who the hell am I? I don't know what.
How about now? Is it better? Is that better? We'll let them tell me in the chat. So, Yeah. So, anyways, I'm going to be discussing tonight a bunch of different stuff in relation to this Charlie Foxtrot. For those of you that don't know what that is,
Snafu.
yeah,
But not
Foobar.
really. No. It's not situation
no,
normal. No.
no, no. This is a total cluster. You know,
Cluster. Yeah, cluster.
yeah.
That's a good word.
That's a good
It's
word.
a
That's as
it's
far.
a giant
I'm probably
cluster.
yeah. It's a
Listen,
giant cluster,
when you've got Ollie North, okay, on there, and
right?
the member of SEAL Team 6
Thanks, Bob.
who killed Osama bin Laden, absolutely disgusted and outraged. I've got it on video if you want me to play it, but it's your show.
Now I'm loud.
Loud and proud. That's right.
Yeah. Well, let me go
And
over.
pissed.
Let me. Yeah, I'm pissed. Let me. And guys, just remember. If you get bored with this, just remember I'll be over. Well, I probably won't be over at 8 o'clock, but just remember you can watch a really nice drone show at top of the hour. Drone Nation. I want to give them shout out right now before I offend everybody and lose all my. But let's. The problem is he had no exit plan. He had zero exit plan. This president is a walking clusterfuck. Excuse
Germany,
me, I said it.
France, the Aussies are still there getting
Yeah.
their people out. Even the Australian, because they all came, the 39 came behind us to support us.
Right.
And we told none
right.
of them, not so much as an email.
Not a single word. But let me say this. You know, people are saying, "Oh, this is reminiscent of Saigon." This is okay. Here's the thing. I was in the military when Saigon fell. I know how we felt about it. And Jim, you were in a few years after, and we were still discussing about it. It was a loss. If you guys haven't seen the movie Heartbreak Ridge with Clint Eastwood, they talk about being, 1, 1, and 0. 1 win, World War II. 1 tie, Korea. 1 loss, actually 1, 1, 1, and 1 loss, Vietnam. And it's actually 2 wins when you go back to World War. 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. The tie was Korea. The loss was Vietnam. The 2 wins were World War I and World War II. That's where we stood as far as we go. And but in 1978, and I had this all brought up over here until all this went to crap. But in 1978, November 78, Jimmy Carter was president of the United States. We had a situation going down in Iran in which they had to have an exit plan because at that point, Jimmy Carter dropped his support of the Shah of Iran because he tortured Soviet spies over there. He was torturing Soviet soldiers and spies. I don't know.
You could just
we could go back to
rights.
1812. Yeah. And this was Jimmy Carter. Was he? Happy, joy. Let's all be nice. So he behind the back of the Shah of Iran sent an Air Force general to negotiate with the Ayatollah Khomeini and the military of the Iran, because at this point the Ayatollah's people were starting to really rise, and anyways, the Ayatollah was still in exile, but Jimmy Carter was sending people over to Paris to meet with the Ayatollah Khomeini, and he was also sending people over he sent a general over to negotiate with the Ayatollah and with the military, asking the military not to back the Shah, because they were at the point they were going to have a military coup, but they were going to back the Shah. They also asked that they not back the vice president of Iran because he was pro Shah. You know, he was supportive of the Shah. So all of this is going on. This was in November of 1978. In December of 1978, orders were sent down through some special units in which the military unit or several military units were sent over to get out any of our personnel that were necessary. Now this was all done in a hello Ron, I see you in there. Let me just bring you in.
Any of our
created
personnel necessary.
Carter
Now,
created that rapid deployment force, which screwed up everything
Well,
because they hadn't worked together as a unit. You couldn't just send in the Air Force, send in the Army, send in the Marines. He created a rapid deployment force.
yes,
And we all know the history of that, how that went.
well, there were several different versions of that rapid deployment force. There was one that worked there was one that worked Army Air Force, and they were a Spec Ops team that worked Army Air Force, and they went into and started pulling back in December of 78. The orders came down for them to move in and to get personnel out. At that point, by January of 79, we had out everybody that needed to be out that was of importance to us. The ambassador was told he needed to pull out, and we needed to pull out the embassy staff, and that didn't happen. Now, Carter had negotiated with the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah says, we want a peaceful transition, as long, you know, and the Army said as long as it's a slow transition, you know, gradual raising up of bringing in the new government, that would be fine. Now, let's go to this point now. The current administration has got had the same friggin' agreement. Another Democrat, Joe Clueless Biden, the fuckwit of Washington, D.C., had the same plan had the same sort of agreement with the Taliban. Okay, we saw how it worked when Jimmy Carter was doing it. It didn't. We ended up having a hostage crisis that lasted 437 days?
479 days.
479. Okay, I knew there's a 7 in there somewhere. I just couldn't remember. Like I said, I had this all brought up, and actually I could have brought it up.
Where Ronald Reagan said the very day I am elected, the inaugural day, I will stone you back to when you were sand. And
yes.
they released our hostages.
Another thing that happened was Jimmy Carter was also working in the background. He was trying to get the Russians to help him. Russian collusion, there's that thing. He was trying to get the Russians to help him bring up stuff about Ronald Reagan during the election. And then 4 years later, he tried to do it with Walter Mondale, or whenever Mondale ran. He tried to get the Russians to help him with Walter Mondale. But that's all sorts of other stuff. But this idiot we've got up there now is doing the same thing like the Taliban, and they've already shown they're not going to honor the agreement. These Democrats like this, these socialist, ignorant dumbasses that tend to run the Democratic Party, seem to think you can negotiate with these
animals.
Yeah.
Goat,
I wanted to say something. Yeah, I was going to say goat and camel humpers. Let's just put it that way. That's not the word I was thinking, but anyways, hey Ron, how you doing, buddy? You just walked into a shitstorm here.
You got it out of your system?
Not yet. I'm going to go the whole hour like this.
You know, Lloyd, I was with Jim on
I saw that
video call-in show last night, and he watched his number of people go down and down and down and down. People don't want to hear about it. They don't want to hear that we left drones, we left Apache helicopters, we left all billions of dollars worth of equipment sitting at Bagram FS base. Nobody wants to hear about it.
I still don't understand
No,
why
exactly.
I don't know, Ron. What part of an exit do you leave shit behind for the enemy?
Yeah. We have photographs of the Russians pulling out of Afghanistan. Guess what they were bringing back? Their tanks. They brought back their equipment. They didn't leave
Yeah,
it there. The only thing they left was this perfectly nice air base, Bagram Air Base.
which we left like
Yeah.
a friggin'
Yep.
idiot.
Yeah.
And this is what happens. At least Jimmy Carter has served in the military.
And at
But
least
we
he
have this-
cried on national TV and said, I'm sorry
Yep.
to
Yeah.
America. Do
He
you remember that?
graduated
Yeah.
of Annapolis too.
Yes, yeah, and not only that, he was involved with the nuclear submarine program. Actually, helped prevent a meltdown. See, people don't know that, but there was a meltdown, and he was the engineer on that sub. He was the head of engineering, and he was the one that had the expertise. Went in there and fixed the problem to prevent the nuclear meltdown on that particular sub. A lot of people don't know that, but that's the truth.
Lloyd,
But-
did you know that this pullout negotiation started back with Obama?
Oh yeah,
We
yeah,
were always
yeah. They've been.
we were always planning to pull out. You know,
I
4,000
have
Americans died. That was enough.
I have no problems with the pullout.
Right.
What I have is a problem with this clusterfuck that we've got for a pullout right now. And I apologize, guys, if you're offended by rough language. Tonight's not the... And I put that on my Facebook and everything. Yeah, Doc Murdoch, I like that. I got to put that up there.
I got to
Or
give
was
something
that?
to Doc. You know, I've seen him. Doc's been helping a hell of a lot of people get into FPV
Yes.
and with their FPV. And I got to throw a shout out to him, boy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's right. He's been helping
Doc-
me out quite a bit.
He helped me out. He got me into it. I mean, that's,
Yep.
you know, it's just, it's one of those things that Doc Murdoch is a great guy, and it was
Yeah.
poorly planned, period. And this is what I was trying to this is what I was prefacing
Trying to preclude this with.
yeah, I was trying, and that's what I was coming
Right.
up with, was the fact that in '78 we had a plan. Now the difference was, and that was the good thing, is Jimmy Carter gave the orders to do it, but he let the military run it.
Run it.
Now, go forward 8-9 months, Jimmy Carter tries to set it up, and as you mentioned, Jim, that rapid deployment team was a Charlie Foxtrot from the beginning. We had that base in 1978. Now, I didn't read all this crap off of the internet. I didn't read all this stuff off the internet. I know what happened in 1978, in December of 78. I absolutely know. And we'll
Now,
leave
remember,
it at that.
I went in 77.
Right, right.
So I don't want to act like I was part of Vietnam. I was not.
I wasn't. I was not. I was in during Vietnam. At the end of, I was in during the fall of Saigon. I was not in the fall of Saigon, but I absolutely know what those teams did in 1978 in December, and we'll just leave it at that. But I have firsthand knowledge on that one.
And normally, guys, if we're going to leave equipment behind, we disable
destroy it.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We disable it
When-
so it
Firing
can't be
pins
used.
out.
When the teams left, when the teams pulled out, once they had done their extractions, Copper State, you joined in 79. Okay, I got out in 80, so I would have been in till another 4, but I decided to after some things went down, I decided to take my
I was disgusted in
given-
79. I wasn't re-upping after that.
Yeah, I was. Well, I was signed on for another. I would have signed on for another 6, but I had another 4, but I had the opportunity to. They offered me an opportunity to leave, and I said, "Hey, you know, I've had enough of this crap."
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I tell little
Drone
kids
life.
that This happened to me on Agent Orange.
The fact you're so small, yeah, that's all Agent Orange. Blame it on Agent Orange. Anyways, let's stop that for a minute. But I just wanted people to understand that we had a plan in '78, but by dropping by dropping one of our best centers for understanding of that area. In other words, we lost our spy network over there. It's real simple. The only thing we had left was Israel.
Lloyd, is there any way for me to play this from the SEAL Team 6 guy?
Yeah, just if you've got it, just click share, and I'll.
It's not copyrighted because it's actually Fox News who shared it to everybody else.
Right.
And the site I got it from is CSC
and I don't care.
News or whatever.
Yeah. Right, I don't care.
Blame it
as
on
long
me.
as you.
They can take down.
Well, I'm not monetized, nor will I be monetized because of that very thing. Let me add that to the stream, and you go ahead and play away.
Now I'm just going to call him Tiny, and Tiny told me the response. Here's how you get the Americans out: Tiny smash with hammer, and that's it. And I have nothing but love for the Brits and the Germans and the French who have the stones to get out there. Look. I don't want to be in charge, but if I was, I want to get the Americans, cool. Give me 9 guys. I'm going to walk through the streets, and I'm going to kill everyone I see, and I'm going to grab the Americans.
This is SEAL Team 6 leader who killed Osama bin Laden.
This guy. A disgrace. I'm amazed.
Yeah.
There hasn't been at least 30 generals and admirals that haven't resigned or been fired today. But we won't, because we have a commander-in-chief that was put there through whatever happened at 4 a.m. on election night. This is nonsense. It's insulting. Every veteran, Marine, Airman, and Navy SEAL, Coast Guardsman, everyone I've talked to today, all they tell me is they feel gross. And that's how you should feel. You should feel gross. We don't ask the Taliban permission. You know what we do? We kick their ass. That's it.
Now, Rob, you have firsthand experience with the Taliban. So when you hear the President of the United States say, we need to work with them or trust them to usher Americans to the airport, does that comport with what you not only have witnessed, but what you have encountered?
I know. I'm very, very angry because over 400 combat missions in so many different fields of combat, I've never once lost a fight. My team has never lost a fight. I don't know any Marine who's lost a fight, and that includes the Taliban. When we meet them face to face, we crush them. We were pretty good for the past 4.5 years at impeaching a president for no reason. If anything deserves an impeachment, it's right now, because we don't do this. We don't ask the enemy for permission. We go in there, we crush them, we win every single time, and then we leave with our people. That's it. It's infuriating that I have to talk to my combat veteran friends who fought for so many years and they're wondering why. Why do we fight? For these people that just hid there until we elected people in suits that can't do anything, and they surrender. Are you kidding me? This president surrendered to the Taliban. Does it get any more embarrassing? Should I not be embarrassed as an American right now, wondering what I fought for?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Ron, you've been kind of quiet. I want to hear what you have to say.
You know what bothers me the most out of this is his family, typically
Hunter.
his wife.
His wife. Yeah.
Claims she loves him.
Right.
Why would you let your husband continue to be embarrassed in front of not only the entire US of A, but around the world? Why would you let your husband be ridiculed, shamed, talked about? Do you really care about him? I mean, is there a certain point where, maybe she's tried, but
I heard something today. And they said one of the reasons that she did this was because she wanted to be in the White House. This was her way of being in the White House. I read that today, I've been doing a lot of reading today, even though my sound screwed up, and maybe that's why maybe they were trying to block me before I started. But you know, like you said, Ron, it's an embarrassment because, okay, my father had dementia, so I've dealt with this. And as families do sometimes, my father had to go into a nursing home, and as families do, sometimes they fight. My brother or somebody in the family decided that they knew better, and they decided to step in. We ended up with a long fight. The only thing that I was ever mad about, I understand, I recognize that I was on the side of my mom, who this is what needed to be done, because I lived here, the rest of them didn't. So I dealt with this every day. But the family and so what ended up happening is one of my cousins who got involved, and several others, they ended up trying to prove my dad wasn't as bad as we said he was. So they took him to have basically an MMPI, I think, basically a psychological test, IQ test, and all that. And this is the thing that pissed me off the most, and this is the thing I have not forgotten. I've forgiven them, but I have not forgotten what they did. This poor man, he was 83 years old. He goes in. Now, he had always been a smart person. You know, he was uneducated. He had third-grade education, but he knew a lot. He learned a lot. He read, unbelievably. But this man goes in and has to take this exam. And he comes back out, and he's kind of hanging his head down. His shoulders are slumped. He says, "I don't think I did too good on that test." And, of course, they showed that he had an IQ of 78 by this time. His capacity was that diminished. That's what I couldn't forgive my family for. Putting that, I knew what it was, but I wasn't going to rub it in his face. And that's exactly what Jill Biden has done to her husband, and the other factor propping him up. And I think that in itself is, what do they call that? Elder abuse. I mean, it just pisses me off. And it
and Biden could go down as the first president to be lame duck in his first year of a 4-year term. All the moderate Democrats that are in the House and in the Senate, they're all going to go, we're not going to vote for his crazy ass liberal crap, because they're in a district that won't tolerate that.
No.
They already know that we've asked OPEC to increase their oil output, right? And they refused.
Yeah, and they refused.
Yeah.
Why would they? I mean, and like I said, guys, if any of you are offended by this conversation tonight, I tried to give fair warning on Mel's show last night, and I gave fair warning on Art's show yesterday. So, I want to bring up something, because there were some things that have been tossed around in all this. And so I'm going to put myself on full screen, because I want to show you guys something. I'll read it to you for those of you who can't see it. But 25th Amendment, Section 1, in case of the removal of the president from office or his death or resignation, the vice president shall become president. Section 2, whenever there is a vacancy in the office of vice president, the president shall nominate a vice president who shall take office upon confirmation by a majority vote of both houses. Now, I don't know if that's a simple majority or not. Section 3, whenever the president transmits to the president pro tem, that would be the vice president in this case, or the president pro tem, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, his written declaration that he is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office, and until he transmits them a written declaration to the contrary, such powers and duties shall be discharged by the Vice President as acting President.
Was this a setup because you want Kamala Harris being your president?
No, I want you to read I want people to understand, because we've had some discussion about this. Section 4. Whenever the let me bring that up a little bit because I can't hardly read that, but it's the only way I can get. There we go. Whenever the vice president and a majority of either principal officers, let me get the branding off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Where is that? Banners, logo, none. Oops, that's not what I want, stupid. Let's shut that off.
There we go.
There we go. Whenever the vice president and majority of either the principal officers of the executive department or such body as Congress may by law provide, transmit to the president pro temp of the Senate and Speaker of the House their written declaration that the president is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office, the vice president shall immediately assume the powers and duties of the office as acting president. Thereafter, when the president transmits to the president pro tem of the Senate and the Speaker of the House his written declaration that no inability exists, he shall resume the powers and duties of his office unless the vice president and a majority of either the principal officers of the executive department or such other body as Congress may by law provide transmit within 4 days to the president pro tem of the Senate and Speaker of the House their written declaration that Congress shall decide the issue, assembling within 48 hours for that purpose, if not in session. If the Congress within 21 days after receipt of latter written declaration, or if Congress is not in session within 21 days after Congress is required to assemble, determines a 2/3 vote of the House and the President is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office, the Vice President shall continue to discharge the same as acting President. Otherwise, the President shall resume the powers of his duties in office. Let me go back. Now, let me remove myself. Okay, because there's been a lot of conversation about the... let me reduce this so I can... There's been a lot of conversation about him stepping down, or him... cabinet members, exactly, recovery one drone. There's been a lot of conversation about him stepping down. Unless they get a 2/3 vote from Congress, he can't be removed from office, but he could be temporarily removed and she would be acting president. It does not state anywhere that Nancy Pelosi will automatically become the vice president if Kamala is made president. That's my argument. There is a link in the description right to this transcript that I just read. I just copied that right off of the Constitution. And, of course, if anybody cares to have one, go to Hilldale College. They send these to you for free. You get some email once in a while, but, that's all there is to it. Their pocket Constitution and Declaration of Independence. I recommend any American or anybody from Canada that wants to figure out what in the hell we're bitching about, they get one of those. So then you know what we're bitching about.
Words, Lloyd. 2 fucking women running our country with thought process and emotion at the same time. Yeah, how well is that going to go?
Well, yeah, and in whose best interest? Theirs.
Well, here's the thing. We don't have to worry about Nancy stepping into that unless she's nominated. And the only way, that's what I was reading. Well, if Kamala nominates her, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think the Congress would go for that. Besides,
it has to have a majority of both houses.
Majority in the House. So that's
they have a narrow majority in the House, and they have a narrow or split majority in the Senate.
Yep.
And 50-50, here's the thing: if Kamala Harris should get, Kamala Harris. If Kamala Harris gets put into the position of president, well, she's no longer president pro tem. The next person would be a Republican.
Ooh.
Because the majority would go to the Republicans then. And that would make, what's his name?
McConnell?
Mitch McConnell. That would make Mitch McConnell the president pro tem of the Senate. So that would be a no-go. So no matter who they nominate, just like what happened with Gerald Ford, no matter who they nominate, they're going to have to come up with something that both parties like.
Yep.
Because they got to have a majority of both parties. But they first got to get... Yeah, exactly. Well, Gerald Ford.
Yep.
Gerald Ford was the first one, and then Rockefeller.
Yeah, after Agnew resigned. And then,
and the Democrats played that one smart in a lot of ways. They got rid of the vice president first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they got rid of Agnew for whatever reason. Yes, that's the order of succession. Yeah,
right,
Doc. And but they got rid of Agnew, and that made Nixon, because Nixon was probably going to be out anyways. But that forced Nixon to select somebody that they might all be able to put up with. And obviously they could, because they had to confirm him as vice president. They had to have a majority of both houses. So that was where we got Gerald Ford, and then Nixon resigned. So,
So you don't need break-ins today at Watergate. You just do it via the internet.
Yeah.
You don't need break-ins. We'd laugh at that crap today. That
trouble for. That was, but this whole, this goes back to, like I said, we've lost. We were discussing. You discussed leaving equipment, disabling them. In 1978 and 79, the equipment there was some equipment left there, but it was disabled.
Damaged beyond repair. Yeah.
Sugar poured into the engines while they were running. I know of that to be a fact. Equipment, we took any equipment that could be used. We we took out radio equipment. We took that stuff, when we got out of there.
Can we get some kind of confirmation that any of that, because this was done at 4 a.m, can we get some kind of confirmation that this was done? Because I'm hearing Ollie North talking about China's now got our drones and all this stuff and going to reproduce the technology. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, reverse engineer.
Reverse engineer it. And to be honest with you, everything that I've been hearing from what I'm reading and people that I know that are in the know, no, we left it. Because the original drawdown plan was to draw back to Bagram.
Right.
Okay. That would have under Trump, it would have been to draw back to Bagram, and then we would have left from Bagram, and the last boots on the ground would have been the military, would have been the Air Force taken off the ground. They would have loaded up their personnel and see you later. Have fun, folks. We're out of here. That's fine. But what happened was President Fuckwit decided, I know better because I'm a peacenik. Now, here's something else. Do you know who President Miley, whatever the fuck his name is? Do you know who he went to school with? Who he graduated high school with? No. He graduated with that cross-dressing assistant Department of Health, that transitional whatever the hell that ugly ass bitch. Yes. But he was a boy. They were only 2 years apart in high school. Then they went to college together. Isn't that sweet?
Oh.
They graduated from Princeton together. It's just so lovely.
A
general that's so woke. Fucking idiot.
Oh, you know who, what?
I'm grumpy tonight, folks. I warned you.
Boy, this
is a professor at Princeton. Nancy Schroeder.
Oh, my God. One point you're missing. The big players from California and current governor Nancy's
got a bigger fence
the authority to appoint new Senate seat. Yes. This is true. to replace both Nancy and Kamala. Well, I don't think they're going to have to replace Nancy because she won't be put into that position. Hang on a second. Let me check my phone. I got to.
So Nancy's
sure
nephew is the governor of California, Dre?
Right.
Okay. I just want to make sure the nepotism is in full government.
Video calling show is now in the chat.
Yeah.
Jimbo, I'm sorry for ruining your show last night talking about this, but we're carrying it over.
Yeah, well, Jim, I intended to be in your show last night, and I don't know. I got the time. Yeah, I guess so. I lost the time. You know, hey, what time is it? Okay, let me take just a few minutes to do a shameless plug real here. I hope the damn music works. Well, let's do a shameless plug, and then we'll get back to the rant. Okay? And here we go. Poo-patter. The food the president eats. Because he's a shit for brains.
Lloyd, this thing by Ollie North is 2.5 minutes.
Okay, I'll pop it up right after the shameless plug. Oh, to hell with it. Let me bring myself back out. Yeah, I saw that down there. Yeah, hello, Chris Wedgeworth. Like I said, guys, thanks everybody that's watching tonight. Hey, I haven't lost. I'm actually, doing pretty good. It's one of my better shows.
Doing pretty good, good crowd. 21. That's good for you.
All right, so we're not losing them. Good.
Yeah, we're not losing them. So let's go ahead and add this, and we'll let you play it. Yeah, please hit play because
now is footage of what's happening right at the airport. That's the inner perimeter. The outer perimeter is serious problems because they've got lists. They've got the names and phone numbers of every one of the folks who work with our country for the last 20 years. They've got the bank records. They've got it all, thanks to the embassy. So that's the number one issue. Second issue, is it true that the Taliban are using captured U.S. drones like the Switchblade and others seized at the Bagram Air Base and other U.S. bases that are now being reverse engineered by Russian, Chinese, and Pakistani intelligence officers? Because that's a major hazard going forward. Number three, it's been reported the Taliban has captured the payroll data in American Embassy and the Kabul banks, showing the names, addresses, and phone numbers for locals now being hunted down. Sean, I've been in touch over the course of the last several days with folks who are now got at least 1,000 Afghan nationals who worked very closely with us. Some of them were my interpreters when I was on the air with you from Afghanistan. We're trying to get them out before they're hunted down. And now they've got the enemy has the addresses and phone numbers, and they're calling them up, trying to entice them to come on over. When they come over, they're dead. Number four, the armed resistance units forming in the Panjshir Valley are appealing for help. I'm wondering, is anyone in the U.S. government answering the phone? If not, why not? Call me. I've got their numbers. They've called me. Number five, there are 50 or more Afghan Air Force fixed-wing and helicopter aircraft now safely on the ground in neighboring countries. The senior Afghan officer has appealed directly for help. I have his phone number. Anyone going to answer his calls? If not, if you're in the government of the United States, give me a call. I'll give you his phone number. He's desperate to make sure that the 500 that came out with him get somewhere safely before they're bounced out of Uzbekistan or Tajikistan or God knows where else. I got his number. Number 6, the communist Chinese are apparently on scene working with Taliban on ways to further disgrace the USA. Here's the bottom line. Nobody seems to remember the lessons learned from the capture of our embassy in Saigon in April 75 or Tehran in 79. If Biden can't figure out how to deal with these problems, he ought to step down. The scary part of that, Sean, is in every case of a president not finishing his term, you know who becomes the president. That's a scary prospect, too.
That's all.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, let me take that off.
That's enough there, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let me answer this message real quick.
And we kind of just discussed that in the chat.
Right. Yeah.
Where that was headed. But like he said, there's no confirmation of any destruction of our equipment, which is normal protocol.
It is. It is the normal protocol, but
and
I mean,
what
first
he's
off,
saying is what you're seeing on TV is that first 100 yards, because you've got Marines or Army, I don't know, I haven't seen the insignias, standing 3 feet from the Taliban with barbed wire there, okay? But you're not seeing the outer band where if there are Americans or those who helped us trying to get to that point at the airport, they're not getting there. What, you're going to show your American passport to a Taliban guy?
Right. Ranger, lay down. My dog's trying to push me out of the way here. Lay down or get out. One of the two.
China's got a straight path in from the top.
Yep.
Right where Bagram was, and India is the one who's going to foot the problem.
Yep.
Yeah, and we should have never left Bagram. We should not have left out of there. We should have kept Bagram and done all of it. What the hell's the difference? Why did we have to deploy from the airport, or why did we have to try and leave?
Look at Okinawa. We kept Okinawa for 50 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
After we defeated the Japanese.
Yeah, and look at Cuba.
Yep, we still got Guantanamo.
Yeah,
we still got
we could have
Guantanamo.
had something like that in Afghanistan. Bagram could have
exactly
been our Guantanamo.
Our Guantanamo. Yeah.
Especially in the Middle East. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and Ron, I've been ranting. All of us been ranting. What else have you got to say that you want to add?
I was actually gonna. I love this whole conversation. It's very enlightening, very confrontational. I was actually going to ask if you wanted to go a minute or two over. I was going to share a video that's very calming with you.
Absolutely. I'm going to go over anyway. So, yeah, if you want to show a video now would be a great time. Because, whoops, where the hell did he go?
He's going to pull up his video.
Oh, okay.
He's on the iPad Pro. He'll be back in.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely, Ron. We'd love to. This whole thing it's okay. And there's Steve. Let's bring Steve in.
It's a what?
Let me say this.
The worst disaster ever.
It's gigantic. Plus,
it's an embarrassment. Oh my! Think about it.
Yep.
Think about it. The French, the country of mimes, is even doing. The French, their number one English word was "I surrender." The only thing they knew in German was "I surrender," and they're out there doing it. Like what the hell? How embarrassing is this?
France, Germany, Ron, Britons, the Australians are still getting their people out.
When you're ready to share, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and add this to the stream. And
I was just going to share my latest video I put out. There we go.
Absolutely, I always love your videos.
Expand that a little bit.
Where the music.
I ain't worried about the music. Can you expand that to full? Let's do it this way. Okay.
There you go.
Well, I got that part anyways.
Okay. And
Okay, Ron's locked up. Yeah,
Yep.
I went full screen here. Wait for he got locked up, so
Yeah.
yeah, he froze. Well, let's remove that until he gets that. So, Steve, my friend, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm loving the conversation tonight. It's been great. There's only one thing I want to add to this, and I know you were reading out of the Constitution.
Yes, I was.
Have you taken into account the legislation that Pelosi passed, where now my understanding, I'm not going to get verbatim my understanding, but I've got to go and pull it up. Supposing the legislation they passed, you don't need the cabinet. That strictly Congress can have the president removed, and the legislation bill that she got passed.
Well, and that's good. She may have got it passed through the House, but did she get it passed through the Senate, and has it been made into law? It does say in the 25th Amendment that Congress can make a law that can exclude the cabinet, basically the hierarchy of the higher officials of the. It already says that of the executive branch, yes, which would mean the cabinet. It does not have to be. The cabinet is as it was if, and I'll have to bring it back up, but it's an and or sort of thing, But for him to actually be removed, it does have to go before Congress. Now, they can come and present, and that's the thing. They've got to have somebody present it under the 25th Amendment. And until they change that, she can now there is one clause in there that says, unless Congress passes a law otherwise,
I don't like the alternative.
On his removal. Well, the alternative is, but, here's the thing.
Up in a situation that really stinks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is what Ron was saying. What do we do? Do we stick with, and who's she going to pick for I can name two people that will not get that position. Nancy Pelosi. Let's say Camel Toe Harris does get elected or get put into that position.
Right.
One, if she's just the acting president, because he has to be completely removed by office, and that can only be done by Congress.
Right.
Okay. So let's say she is the president. Now she has to nominate and put forth somebody. In order to do that, it has to have a majority vote of both the House and the Senate. Mm-hmm. Nancy Pelosi could not get it.
No.
Michelle Obama could not get it. Those are two people I see being put forth in a lot of these.
What about Elizabeth Warren?
Elizabeth Warren, I don't know. It depends on. She's another one that could be put up there.
Or
I don't think she would get.
Bernie.
Or Bernie. Chuck Schumer. I don't think he would pass muster. I don't think he would.
AOC.
You got to remember.
Now,
Hillary
that would
Clinton.
never happen. AOC.
You got to remember.
Omar.
Don't say never.
Well, I won't say it wouldn't happen, but they're going to look for a Gerald Ford or a Nelson Rockefeller. Mm-hmm. Because that's the only way it'll pass, because they have such a slim majority in the House. And if this doesn't happen before the next election, which I suspect it will happen probably before the end of the year, or the beginning of next year, I see it happen. Actually, I see it happening. I don't know. It could happen in the next 2 weeks.
You've got his own generals talking against him. So something's
well,
gonna happen.
if it's General Miley or Milley or whatever the hell that idiot is, that guy's a fruitcake from,
Yeah.
We have a term that I used.
He came out of ROTC. he didn't go to West Point, didn't go to any regular military academy.
No.
He came out of ROTC because he couldn't make it through any of the other ones.
Right, exactly. And he was with like I said, he graduated high school with
Millie.
General
Millie.
Millie.
Okay.
General Millie, yeah. Millie Vanilli.
Millie Vanilli, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
What
Another
happened,
figure.
Ron?
What happened, Ron?
I'm in a hotel.
Oh, you're in.
Okay.
Oh, where are you
That's why
at, by
we
the way,
don't
Ron?
see the three amigos behind.
Yeah, I'm up in Bismarck, about an hour and a half from my normal workplace. I'm up at a educational thing.
Okay.
Here today and tomorrow.
Okay.
But that
Can you post the link and one of us can play it?
Yeah.
Is that the video you just put up, Ron? On
Yeah.
your channel?
Yeah.
All right, I can pull it up. Or Steve.
Okay.
Steve's got the fiber optic. Go ahead, Steve.
No, I don't have fiber optics, but I got gigabit. Hold on.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
So Jim says the subversive that is Kamala is sure to pick someone like that.
Ilhan Omar.
Omar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Dre
Well,
says they're going to stack the deck. Sure, of course.
Right, and it just depends on, like I said, they're going to try, but how successful it will be, because right now the Democratic Party is imploding on itself.
Mm-hmm.
And they got an election coming up. They can play all the nastiness they can, but they got an election coming up, and I guarantee you, if the Republicans take the House, which at this point,
They need
well, yeah, they do. They do. But if the have you got that up there ready to go?
I'm pulling it up right now.
Oh, okay. All right,
Hold on.
because Jim's got another one up. So,
Oh,
hey, getting off this topic for just a second, I got to tell you, I got a new iPad Pro.
Awesome.
The 12.9 with the M1 chips. I got 256 gigabyte on it. But the
That's a
cool
good
thing
chip.
is,
that's a good chip.
Yeah.
it is a smoking son of a gun. Let's see which ones. Let's go ahead and play this. This is, and see if you can go ahead and pull that in full screen there, and I'll put it on full
Let me
screen.
go full screen.
There you go. Yeah. There we go. Did you share the sound?
What is the audio, Ron?
Oh, shoot. I didn't. Hold on.
Well, that's all right. You just dropped it out anyway, so now you got to remember to share this.
Is the audio epidemic or anything like that, Ron?
No, it's
I don't
not.
care.
It's YouTube
I
audio?
don't care.
That's
No.
cool. All right.
I don't care if it's
Yeah,
Led Zeppelin or AC/DC.
Right.
I'm not monetized. I don't give a shit.
Well, you're going to get a copyright claim, not a strike.
Yeah, that's all I
Oh, well.
claims.
I've
Yeah,
gotten a few
yeah.
of them myself.
Oh, I get them too. All right. Let's try this again.
Turn that volume. Yeah, hit the volume button. There you go. Still not playing.
Still not playing.
Still
It
not
isn't?
playing. No.
No.
Did you hit?
When you first
did
start it,
click
you got to
the
remember
audio?
to click share audio before you post it up there.
Okay, hold on a second.
All right.
So-
Try again.
Third time.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Steve's
Remember,
a little new at this.
start from the beginning. Yeah, he's new at this. Yeah.
I know. I haven't used StreamYards in I don't know how long.
Just-
I've been working my butt
Doc
off.
Murdoch says just as long as it's not Smash Mouth. Yeah. Okay, I might agree with that. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, and I'm running long, so if you guys want to go over, and if you guys are interested in drones right now, go over and watch Drone Nation.
Drone.
But you know, this it's just such an embarrassment. Okay,
It
looks like
doesn't
you've
give
got
me a
it, Jim.
choice of sharing audio.
Yeah.
Jim's got it, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jim.
All right,
you
let's-
do it.
All right.
There we go.
I can only imagine what it will be like
Love this song.
when I
Yeah, it's a
walk
good tune.
by your side. I can only imagine what my eyes will see When your face is before me, I can only imagine.
Ron, you suck.
Ah,
All this beautiful country to take videos of.
He put in 4,000 miles.
I know.
4,000 miles on a motorcycle.
Bet your ass was sore.
It
Oh,
was.
look at the
I
boot.
walked like a duck afterwards, too.
But to my knees will I fall, will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I can only imagine when that day comes.
Now, you had a lot of the fires still going on, right?
It was quite a few.
I can tell.
Only imagine.
Snake River Canyon. It's
Oh, there's a paraglider down there.
They jumped from 1,000 feet, Ron said. A mile run?
over a mile.
I can only imagine, yeah. I can only imagine.
Look at the size of the Douglas firs and western hemlocks. The size of redwood.
This is
One will my heart feel will I dance for you, Jesus.
Those are just yearlings.
Yeah.
yeah. Compared to it's Bullwinkle's wife.
Yeah.
For those that don't want to hear it, but I'm going to tell you anyways, moose is very good
Yes, it is.
to eat.
Yeah, I love
Honestly,
chocolate mousse.
Chocolate mousse is good too. I'm not going to argue that, but my uncle lived in Canada, and he would come down. He was a teacher up there, but he was married to a Canadian woman, but he was also a bush pilot, and he did a lot of work with the go ahead.
Highway.
What's it?
This is Pacific Coastal Highway.
PCH?
Yep.
Just oh, them things look cute, but I'll bet they're meaner than hell.
Probably.
Their dinner for the orcas waiting.
Yep.
Ah, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's in Yakima, Washington.
Hey.
There.
Beautiful.
Imagine when all I do is forever worship you.
How many days was that again, Ron?
11 days.
11. I was going to say it was 10 or 11 days, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks, Ron, for
Hey,
allowing
great.
us to share. That was just
Well
absolutely.
done.
That's why I like having you. Yeah, that's why I like having you come in the show, because you always bring great videos, and I love promoting people's videos. And even though tonight was, and I like I said, tonight was planned to be a rant night, and I knew it. And
It was fun, man.
I think of so much, and I hold back on most shows because, except for Art's show, Art has trouble holding me back. Some days he just lets me get the bit and run.
Lloyd,
And
I was going to say one thing when you get in there. There's something I'd like to bring up. I think that everybody's kind of forgetting about.
what's that?
And that is the amount of minerals that Afghanistan has there.
I was going to bring up
And
that.
one of
That's
the
why the
things,
Chinese are very
you
interested.
better believe it. They're estimating the value at over $3 trillion. And what it has there is why they left that armament there is to go back in for a war so we can go in and help China get it out.
Huh.
That's just my opinion.
Well, no, I kind of brought this up to, because President Dumbass said we have no interest in Afghanistan, and the reason that China and Russia are kind of like, yeah, okay, is because those minerals, a lot of those are used for making the chips for our PCs, I brought this up on your show yesterday, Art. I couldn't remember what all it was, and I still haven't looked it up, that's my bad. But yeah, that's the primary reason for all this. And let's not forget, the reason this war went on for 20 years is because we had people like, and the press supported it, was we had people like CNN, Fox, CNN, MSNBC. We had generals that are now spokespeople or contributors to MSNBC, CNN, Fox News. These generals, they were setting themselves up to have a nice, cushy job on the outside. Look at the millions and billions and trillions of dollars that have been made by the people that helped run this war.
And don't forget the CIA were running all the drugs, the opium.
Oh yeah.
And
just like they did in Vietnam.
Yeah. And one of the other things, too, is the amount of lithium that is being used there for batteries.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's why we can't get
the warp cores, too. Yeah. Lithium crystal, too.
Yeah. For the warp cores, yeah. Yeah, but don't they? No, you're thinking dilithium, and I don't think I don't think we have dilithium yet. Do we have dilithium yet?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know if anybody's invented. I don't think so.
Oh,
I think that's still a made-up thing.
What else lithium is used in? Hydrogen bombs.
Yeah, and for your mom.
I was going to say, isn't it used for psychological effects? Psychiatric drugs. Yeah, don't ask how I know.
Remember that atomic test that we did at Bikini, that there was a hydrogen bomb test where we thought, this is only going to be a 3 megaton device. Well, they thought that the lithium-7, which they couldn't get out of the lithium-6, they thought, that's in there, that'll be no problem. So they set off this device, and all these ships that we had, what they thought was way outside the perimeter, all of a sudden they're seeing this mushroom cloud. Hey, dude, this cloud is coming right. It turned out to be a 15 megaton device.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lloyd,
well,
Ollie's got a short one here, 30 seconds.
All right, I'll show this one, and then I think what I want to do is start kind of drifting to get down to the close up, because go over some final thoughts of everybody, and because I actually don't want to run for 2 hours, although I could, and we're down to 11 people. A lot of people.
Hey, I know what that's all about.
Yeah, exactly. So let me play this last one here for you, Jim.
Well, I do know exactly what you're talking about, but we have the capability of retrieving those Americans. It's going to take more troops, a lot more. It's going to take more time, a lot more. And that may have to be done, because if you end up with, let's say, just 1,000 American hostages, and the communist Chinese are the ones that are, quote, going to act as a protective power for, quote, safe passage, that's the ultimate humiliation in the incompetence that is at every level of this administration. It goes to the top of the Pentagon, the top of the State Department, the top of the CIA. The incompetence is extraordinary. I hate to say that, because I served every minute of my time in uniform. I was proud of the people who I reported to. The fact is, we no longer have people like that in our government.
That's it.
Amen.
So, and that's being, the press conferences are what I'm sure you've seen a few of them, Steve. The press conferences are different from what the president's saying. I mean, we all know that he said there'll never be you never see helicopters over the embassy like you did in Saigon.
Right.
2 weeks later, 14 days later, you did.
Yeah. Well, his callousness is also another thing that really bothers me. It's like, well, but that happened 4 days ago. Like, a guy hanging onto an aircraft he wants out of the country so damn bad he hangs onto the aircraft and falls 1,000 feet and dies. Oh, but they just happened 4 days ago. What's it? It's no big deal.
They found remains in the wheel well too of another guy.
In here, yeah.
I mean,
and here's the thing. Here's the thing. We're coming up on the 20th anniversary of 9/11.
Yeah.
We just gave them the opportunity to
Hit us again.
bend us over and shaft us bad, Mm-hmm.
I'll send a link to you guys, it is a gentleman that I follow on YouTube, and he's a conservative news reporter, and it came out with the amount of statistics of how much armament, how many aircraft, boom, of what was actually left there. It finally came out today.
That's what I was asking.
Shock the hell out of you.
Here's the thing. I listened to the news conference today, and they were asking the Secretary of Defense if he had a definitive number on what. No. Like how many people are still there? I don't know, thousands maybe, but we'll just agree that it's thousands. You mean you don't have an exact? They did not have an exact number. Our own Pentagon doesn't know what the hell's going on. That's sad. That's just sad.
That's what I was asking for earlier, Steve. Do we know how much was left behind and not disabled?
There is these figures. I'll send it out to you, and you can listen to his news report. He goes by the initials BCP for Black Conservative Patriots. Lloyd knows about.
I listened to him. Yes, I listened to him a lot.
And he came out today because he's still in Wisconsin, and he put it out, and it was in his one that just came out about an hour and a half ago. Because I was listening to it just before you went live. And
Jim, you're right. Your video call-in show. You're right. Incompetence on a level we've never seen.
Never.
It's never. I mean, this is just. It is beyond belief of just the. And it's saddening. It's saddening that this is our. Like I said, the French can get them out. Why in the hell can't we?
I don't know if it's incompetence. I think this is more of a setup. I actually think this is, I hate to say this, but our government setting this up for future wars. And the part that disturbs me more than anything is that all the biometrics, all the photos, all the fingerprints of everybody we trained, everybody that's still there is seized by the Taliban. And that's why they're going door to door, because they're going after the mechanics, the pilots,
that's what Ollie North was saying. They have their back.
That's right.
Either you fly for us, or we're going to kill your family.
Right, exactly.
Here's something else that you haven't heard is you know why these people are having problems with their passports? Turns out they burned them all before they left. So all these people are stuck without passports to get out of the country. So they're screwed.
Yeah. Well, and it's just I just there is. This is what's been pissing me off, and this is why I decided to have a rant show tonight, simply because I just am sick of it. I'm sick of this, and it's an embarrassment as a veteran. I am highly offended.
I'm rubbing his back. And
it's just,
even if you never served your country, even if you have pride in being an American, for God's sake.
Pride in America is, and I don't know. Maybe the Democrats decided to do this to set this up so that they could actually have a way to thin out the ranks of the more socialist. Because that's who's going to lose.
This is coming from Obama. This is coming from Obama in order to get the Africans over here for more voters coming in because they came and saved us. So guess where they're going to be voting?
Yeah, yeah. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to play out that way because I don't think they're too happy with this administration right now because, yeah,
We
pride
pray.
in America is under attack. Yeah, exactly, Jim.
Worldwide.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, this has damaged us. Boy, hang on a second. Go ahead and talk, guys.
See, that 479 days in Iran where the students supposedly took over the hostages, the American hostages, and all that. That was all nonsense. They just said that so we didn't go in and attack. But when it dragged on that long and Ronald Reagan said, the day I'm inaugurated, I'm flattening.
Right.
Yeah.
They released
Yeah.
them.
Well,
we can't
they've
do
got
that now.
the BBC released some declassified information a couple years ago, and that's where I was talking about what happened in Iran. some of it was experience, but the politics of what Jimmy Carter did, and him sending the Air Force General, I cannot remember his name now.
Milley?
No. This was back
Ollie
in
North?
'78. This is
Oh,
this is
Alexander Haig?
no, this was an Air Force general. Nicer or Newser or Newsom. It wasn't Newsom either because that's that idiot in California.
Reagan did have balls, Tim.
Please.
Yeah, but anyways, he was sent to do all this behind the back of the Shah of Iran, and and he negotiated with the Ayatollah. Well, the generals, the military of Iran, or the military leaders of Iran, they were going to stage a coup, but they were going to run. They were anti-Shah. In other words, they didn't want this.
Shaw back in. Yeah.
Well, they wanted him back in, but they wanted to support the general, or they wanted to support the They wanted it to stay the same because they were very westernized. They didn't want, and it was this general and the different members of the Carter administration that were playing out this other game of behind your back chest behind the Shah of Iran. And then what happened was the Shah came down with cancer, and it was and
we
that's
brought his
when
wife
everything
over
changed.
with the 500 sets of shoes.
Yeah.
No, that's
speaking of that,
That's Marcos.
that was
Marcos.
Imelda Marcos's wife.
Melba,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I remember that.
Okay.
farce.
Yeah, we did another Charlie Foxtrot. But anyways, speaking of all the money, did you guys see the video where they showed the Taliban inside the presidential palace there, and the stacks of $100 bills
Of American cash, yeah.
American cash? I could live. I could buy everybody that follows me, all 700 and whatever's left.
A new house.
29, 25. I could at least buy them all a new iPad Pro 12.9 inch with the 2 terabyte hard drive. With the money they left behind.
Why didn't we just toss a missile? Like you toss a grenade when you're leaving the munitions dump. You toss a grenade in. Why didn't we just send a missile in and flatten?
Well, what it comes down to is if we took everybody that's on this in the chat and everybody that's on here now, we could have pulled out with half the amount of stress, and none of us have the stars on our shoulders because common sense, you keep your base, you get the embassy people out, you get the Americans out, and you do it months in advance, and then you slowly go, and then when you go bye-bye, and you have a protected air.
Well, and that, that's what my precursor was at the beginning of the show, talking about what they did in Iran, or in Iran, compared to what this idiot did. I mean, and here's the other thing that just galls me, is this chicken shit had him pull out in the middle of the night.
And he didn't want to follow through with Trump's plan that was already in place for leaving.
Right, because he didn't want to give it. He didn't want to give a win to Trump, and that's
Right.
really what this comes down
know-
to. It would have looked good for Trump, and
You know
so
what it falls back
guys,
on, Lloyd?
do
It
what?
falls back on what I said earlier in the show. You know, his wife. Oh, I want my husband to be president of the United States. Does it matter
Yes.
that the blood of all these people who have died and were killed falls back? It falls back on his hands. Does he give a shit? No.
No.
Does he probably even know that he gives a shit? No. You know,
Yeah.
you
No.
actually kind of hit a nerve with me when you mentioned about the 20-year anniversary. I was at 9/11 the whole second week. I pulled dead cops, dead
Yes.
medics, dead firemen out of there for a week.
I know.
And, you know, I'll
The
never
humans jumping
I'll
from
never
the
forget.
towers was enough for me.
You know, I'll never forget that. You know, it bothered me. At the end of 1 week, I had enough. You know, I couldn't take it. Jim and I have been in some cities, you know, as medics in the world, what we call the Knife and Gun Club. You know, to see
Right.
that shit. You know, have those damn
Yeah.
Campbell humping pieces of shit. You know, he don't care. It's all about prestige and money today. It's what it's about. I'm
Yeah,
president of
that's
the United
it.
States and I'm making a story.
I mean, I just watched it's a TikTok video that was put out when Kamala was running for when the campaign was on, and I don't know, it was after she became vice president. It's pictures of her going up and down the steps of Air Force Two. Look at me, and it's just like, you know,
It's like
I'm
that
important. I
picture
get to ride in Air Force Two.
It's
Well,
like that
just
picture
remember
I
one
showed.
thing. Even us here in California, if even the Democrats, she didn't even have a 40% rating of likeness here in this state. When she
I know.
she was attorney general, I don't know how in the hell,
Yeah.
you know, the way it went through with her becoming senator, that is just
Yeah.
baffles the living hell out of
And
me.
how she
It's the union.
And ballots sent
Yeah.
to everybody in the Trump election 2016, but when we have the 2018 election in California, we had 5 counties that had anywhere from 3% to 18% more ballots cast than there were eligible voters.
I was talking about that with Jim last night. She lost in her own state.
Lloyd, that's why I sent you that copy of that picture of that shirt from Sturgis. It said Biden sucks and Kamala swallows. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the truth. I mean, you know, this is just it was another diversity and inclusion hire. Yes,
Jim.
It's just a sad day, especially coming on the backs, you know, right before the 20th anniversary of 9/11. I mean, how in the hell could we have, you know, gone down this rabbit hole like this? And I pray that nothing bad happens to this country before then or then. But I hope to God by next year, America has finally pulled their collective heads out of their asses and finally started realizing that we have a shit for brains in the White House. We have shit for brains in our Senate and shit for brains in our Congress. And it's time to clean house and get rid of these sorry bastards.
I've never seen in my entire life, I mean, the amount of bad criticism towards a president in my entire life. It's the worst ever.
I thought it was bad against Nixon back in the 70s, but Jesus.
Yeah, this is worse.
You know.
That was for a simple break-in that happens over the internet every day now. So,
the thing was,
something so stupid in perspective.
The only reason he even had a problem was because he would have said, well, okay, I screwed up. I'm sorry. I apologize. It won't happen again. You know, or, yeah, I didn't tell those 2 idiots to do that. Somebody else did, but that's okay. Instead, he said, I don't want to, I'm not a crook.
This is going in the history books, though.
I'm not a crook.
Yeah.
Because what's about to happen down line, I mean, look who we left sitting there holding the bag. India.
Good job, Art.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and
hell, even
Pakistan's
Pakistan.
been claimed as the money man the whole time. Because
Yeah,
all the
but now
money
Pakistan's
went through Pakistan.
Pakistan's pissed off now too because they've been having bombings coming from the Taliban. So, they don't want the Talibans there either.
Right.
You know, not the Afghani Talibans. They don't care if it's if they're Pakistani, but that's two different. And we conducted this war wrong to begin with. If we were going to put, the reason their army fell was a varied of things, but part of it was that one, this is tribal. Okay, they're a tribal group. We didn't approach their tribal leaders properly. We should have let the head of each province or each section say, all right, put your best men forward. Two, we should have drug tested every damn one of them, because
that would have eliminated 99% of them.
Yeah.
Well, so what? We might have had to. Exactly.
We were paying them to hold the rifle and pretend they were soldiers.
Yeah.
We don't have a military anymore. What we have is outside contractors running the military.
Exactly. And there's another example of people that made money that on these wars because this. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, full disclosure. I have a cousin that works for the army. He was in the army. His dad was a Bataan Death March survivor. He was not, and so when it came time for him to ship out to Vietnam, hello, Robert Glazier. Heads up, in case you don't know this, I'm on a rant. Okay, so just if you hadn't been tuning in earlier, but anyways, this cousin of mine, he's got orders to go to Vietnam. His dad, being a POW and Bataan survivor, had a lot of local pull. Got him out of Vietnam. Pissed my cousin off. So when 9/11 happens, he's now working as a civilian for the Army Corps of Engineers. Guess where he puts in to go? Afghanistan, and then Iraq. He went back 3 tours of each one as a civilian. He's now retired and has a very, very, very nice income because he got paid all those bonuses, even though he worked for the Army Corps of Engineers, which is like the Forest Service, even though he made money off that deal. And so did a lot of people. And that's what this war was about, people making money off of it. Sure. And that pisses me off.
Lloyd,
damn well that
this up for a second.
Yeah, damn well those soldiers didn't make that kind of money.
This is the amount of Americans who died from 2003 to 2020. The U.S. soldiers only.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and we haven't had
tens of thousands of Afghanis.
Yeah.
Right.
And how many civilians, we don't know, right?
Yeah.
Well, hello to my friend Paul McCullough, who called me on the phone earlier. He's one of the guys from my virtual flight simulator group that I started back in '97. I've known him since '99. So, welcome to the show. You got here just in time for just as I was wrapping up the rant. But yeah, I think we should recall every person in the White House. I don't know if they can do it, but I think.
There was a lot of education done, a lot of schools built. Women were allowed to go to school. Yep. India was still building schools at the time. I mean, you're turning around the whole culture again. Mm-hmm. We showed them a glimmer of hope.
Well, hey, Lloyd,
that's why.
I gotta.
Okay.
I gotta. Go
well, Ron.
Little studying before tomorrow, so.
All right, Ron. Well, thank you for sharing your video with us, and I'm probably fixing to. I agree, but Ron, I appreciate you sharing the video. I'm getting ready to wrap this up here in a minute because I've gone way over, and I appreciate you coming on, Ron. And
it was. I enjoyed this. This was a good confrontational rant.
It's what I've said all along. I hold back most of the time, but everybody knows me as the grumpy vlogger, and I decided this weekend I was through with that bullshit, and I decided to be the grumpy vlogger for a while.
Yeah.
You need to do that once in a while.
Yeah, every so often I just gotta let her rip.
Let it out, man.
Yeah, and but Ron, I appreciate it. I really appreciate it, and always enjoy your videos. So
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. You guys have a great
all
night.
right, good luck. Good luck on
Take
your
care.
classes
Hey,
and
Ron.
stuff.
Good to see you.
We'll talk. Take care now. Bye bye.
All right, bye bye. So
Shoot
Well,
me that.
I'll
me
back
that
on
link.
out myself too because I've got to get going here. I got home.
yeah,
and I had to hop on. I was listening to you at work, and then all the noise was going on. I was in the car, and Linda was listening to it and going, "He's on a roll." So
They-
I had to
yeah.
rein him in Sunday on my show.
yeah.
oh yeah, I was doing everything I could on Mel's show last night. I was and I put up when I posted that on Facebook. I said, this is not for the woke or the politically sensitive, because okay, let me put this up because where'd that go?
I
Oh,
just
there
got off
it
the
is.
phone with my son. He served in Afghanistan. Oh, you see that? Okay. He's not taking this crap. too
Yes,
well.
yeah,
It's a
yes,
slap in the face.
Exactly.
It is a slap in the face to every veteran, to every person that's served, to every family that lost a loved one over there, or it's a slap in the face to the American people.
Mhm. Yep. I agree.
And I will. Oh, somebody already got me.
You
Your
need to make-
moderators are really.
You got to
I
make
jumped-
him
yeah.
a moderator.
I jumped on that.
Yeah.
Go rewatch my show from Sunday, and you'll like that show because
I will.
Yeah. Watch.
Lloyd did talk a lot about what we were talking about tonight, and he was kind of holding it back because I knew he wanted to do something like this on his show tonight.
Right.
But he did a great job, and we had a really good conversation.
We had a good show. We had a good show yesterday, and I didn't mention any of this. I just mentioned that I was going to be loaded for bear tonight to Mel's show last night, and and I sent out links to the people I knew would, because I caught. And I apologize, Jim, at the video call-in show if you've already left. Okay, but I apologize because I missed his show last night, and I don't know what the hell I did wrong, but I did watch it and I watched you, Jim Boyd, and last week you left early. I wish you'd have stayed. You and I will
got
talk
so
about that
pissed
sometime.
off. Oh,
I know,
you know that.
I know.
You know.
I didn't have a problem with it. That wasn't, and that's because I spent last week I spent 30 minutes ranting, so. I did go Grizzly tonight. Yeah, I've had enough of this shit. And I don't care.
I
Usually
agree.
Judy says, "Now don't do anything to piss off people." I didn't give a damn tonight. And I told her I've used. Hey, this language is not for adults, but I usually don't use too much profanity on my show.
Adult language and theme.
It just amazes me
Yeah.
how many people don't want to talk about it. Don't want to hear anything.
I know it's a bunch of chicken. They're in their little bubble, and
Yep.
they don't want to talk about it. And
until it affects you, which it will.
One thing I've learned is when you talk with facts because they can't challenge you.
Right.
It's emotion instead of facts. And that's where it comes down
Yep.
to that I've found.
Yep.
And on
Yeah,
that
and
point, Lloyd, thank you.
Yeah.
Art, good to see you. Jim,
And-
good to see
Great
you.
to see you,
Everybody in
Steve.
chat.
Steve,
Wonderful
send me that
to see
link.
you, Aldo.
Send me that link.
Huh?
Send me that
What's
link.
that? I will. I will send that out.
All right,
Yeah.
Thanks.
that's
Take care,
that's
everybody.
that's it in a nutshell, Jim.
Yep.
I'm mad as hell as I want to end. Steve, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. You're
Thank
always
you.
a pleasure to have you in here.
Good
I
to
really
see
do
you.
appreciate
Great to
it.
see
So.
you, Steve.
All right. You
Bye-bye.
take care, my friend. And Jim, I'll let you have some final thoughts, and Art and I will And I'll be honest with you, I'm not even going to play the timer tonight. I'm just going to close her out. So if you're not wanting to leave yet, although I need to probably get off here pretty quick because we're coming up on 2 hours. This is my longest show, I think. So
the grumpy vlogger marathon.
You know, the thing is, what downline now? What we're going to have do to undo what we just screwed up. Did we just hand over technology that they didn't have that now we have to double down on, you know, and we don't have the...
Yeah. Well, the idea that China is going to use that stuff and reverse engineer it and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Look, we already know. Let me give you a fresh example. FLIR, forward-looking infrared. The FLIR company was bought by Teledyne, okay? And there was a reason there was an ITAR on it. You weren't allowed to send 640, 30 frames per second FLIR cameras overseas and all that. Well, DJI just last year started selling their own version of a FLIR camera and putting it on there. So it does happen. They do steal and reverse engineer your technology.
Well, and how many of the chips that are let's just get it down to the very basic core of how this all works. How many of the chips in an American manufactured military style drone are manufactured right here in the USA? Does anybody know?
No, but I'm saying I would have to say that as far as the U.S. government for its military fighting theater aircraft, they're not going to be Chinese made.
That's what you would think.
Yes.
That's logic. But we all know that this particular government hasn't used any damn logic in the last 40 years. They've had their heads so far up their ass they can't see for the shit in their eyes and can't hear for the shit in their ears. That's, so logic, yeah.
I totally get it from that point, but you still have DARPA, and you have for 50 years you've had DARPA.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's true. But it's just...
It's like leaving stealth fighters over there, for Christ's sake. This is how bad it is in my eyes.
I know. Mm-hmm. It is. And we'll have a fight of their own in their own technology. They'll have to fight for their own technology in the war. Yeah, exactly. And, anyways,
I think the U.S. people are going to want to 5 years from now go back and fight a war over there that we gave everything?
Oh, hell no.
No, hell
no. No, we have just given there are so many implications. We have just made our life the most dangerous it has been since before 9/11. 9/11, I think, in another, 10 years, I think 9/11 will be a picnic in the park, just like Pearl Harbor was compared to 9/11. I think, and be honest with you, at most 20 years, and by then I won't give a shit. I'll either be too senile or I'll be dead.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's a real scary thought. Iran gets a nuke. Probably what will happen is they'll give it to one of their terrorist organizations.
Yep.
Now, everybody thinks, New York would be a good place. I don't think it'll be New York. Did you know that underneath Detroit, there are huge salt mines under there?
Yep.
Imagine if you set off a nuclear device under Detroit, then you would have an implosion that would cause a new lake to form. You could see water running backwards from Lake Erie. You might see the Niagara Falls dry up briefly until the new lake fills up with probably very high concentration of, radioactive material, but you'll have also the salinity from those mines down. There was several hundred feet below
Yeah.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
you said,
It's
I'm not going to reveal any other bases, but you all know that we have a lot of crap underground.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to leave you
Well,
at that, Lloyd,
even
because
in
I
New
can go on
York, they've
forever.
got huge underground water tunnels under New York that are hundreds of feet.
Yeah. Well, Jim, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
He left before I even got to say goodbye to him. But, anyways, let's have a final wrap up, and we'll call this a great show. I feel like it was a good show. We still got 11 people watching, which I didn't figure we'd have over 11 all night. So,
I think your analytics are going to go through the roof.
yeah, either that or I'm going to be banned. I don't care. I don't care.
Who's this Artco guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Take care of that guy.
Jim, again, you're very welcome. I really appreciated you being on, and I want to thank you, Art, for one allowing me to be, for allowing me like yesterday to kind of precursor my show tonight,
right.
And I always enjoy being on a show with you and doing the political show that we do on Sunday. If you guys, any of you guys that don't know it, go look for Art's Place. Say it. What is Art's Place Conservative Talk?
Art's Place Conservative Talk is the name of the channel. And at the moment, I think we have 175 subscribers. So let's
great.
build that up. Let's get that up over 200 or more.
And it's at 2:00 Central Time, 1:00 Mountain Time, 12:00 Pacific Time, and 3:00 Eastern Time. So, and that's on Sunday. So if you guys want to hear us go the rounds, we usually get, I'm not as verbose as I am tonight, but it's my channel, so I dropped. I just didn't. I took my filters off.
Well, just to let you have a heads up, I'm in the process of trying to get Derek Wilburn on Sunday. If you don't know, he's on fire. He was at the Colorado Springs school board where he just lit them up with his view on CRT. His video is on fire. Check out this guy, Derek Wilburn. I've known Derek for, over 11 years. He's the director of Black Conservatives of Colorado, Rocky Mountain.
Okay, excellent. I look forward to having him on your show. So, Art, I'm going to go ahead and put myself on full screen, and I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. I'm not even going to do the timer.
Take care,
so,
everybody.
Art, again, thanks. Okay, guys, I want to thank all you guys for letting me rant and rave. This is what I started this channel about 3.5 years ago, was to do this stuff, to be able to talk and give my opinion, because I didn't feel at the time there was anybody showing what an old guy like me thinks about the world. And there is the most qualified person for Washington right now. I mean, he's more qualified. He's a dummy. And his name is Goofy, and he should be the president because I think he'd do a better friggin' job. Anyways, guys, thank you. I hope you all enjoy it. Share this with anybody. Just warn them that it's not. And I will, Steve. Yes. Just warn them that this is not for the woke or the politically sensitive. Okay. Good night. God bless. God help. Remember what I say. Yeah, what do I say? Remember, my mind just went blank there. Remember, be kind. Treat each other better than you would treat yourselves. Remember, everyone matters, even old farts like me. And God bless, God help the USA. I am the Grumpy Vlogger. I'm out of here. Bye-bye for now.